From a massive super yacht to crazy mansions and one of the most insane jewelry collections, these are some of the most expensive things that Lewis Hamilton owns. And first, we gotta start with his crazy car collection, cause it's truly one of a kind. He has one of the biggest Mercedes collections of any F1 driver, from big Tonka trucks, luxury EVs, an AMG SLS Black, and his rarest, most expensive Mercedes, the limited edition AMG 1, worth nearly $3 million. Ooh, goddamn, bro. That shit sounds like a spaceship. But we're just getting started. Cause not only does he rep cars from his former team, he's had a love of rare Ferraris as well, way before he signed on to race for them. He has 2 LaFerrari cars in his collection, an Aperta worth upwards of $5 mil, and an even more impressive, limited edition LaFerrari that is one of just 499 ever made.
Oh, so you just gonna switch cars? You put one car back and you just take the other one out? He really living his best life, y'all.
The oldest car in his collection is his 1966 Shelby Cobra, but his most expensive vintage car is a 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, which he paid over 1.1 million euros for in 2011. And last, but certainly not least, he has snagged a couple of pretty sweet McLarens. The first is the iconic McLaren P1. With a top speed of 217 miles per hour, which is just barely faster than my Toyota Prius when I'm late for work, this absurdly fast car was bought by Hamilton in 2015 for around 1.4 million euros. But then there is the star of his collection, a car that is so rare, not even insurance companies want anything to do with it. It's his 1995 McLaren F1, one of only 106 by the way, which he bought for over $15 million back in 2017. Now, he has all of these crazy cars, but honestly, I like his super yacht even more. He's been caught a few times showing off and relaxing in his yacht, and with all his years at the top, dude deserves it. This 91-foot Sunseeker yacht includes a kitchen large enough for a professional chef, a massive entertainment system, and a dining area to seat 8 of his closest friends. He reportedly bought the yacht for about $4 million back in 2009, but now a fully upgraded version is valued at around 11 mil, so you could say that he made a pretty solid investment. But his yacht isn't the only purchase he's been flexing. Cause Lewis Hamilton's jewelry collection deserves its own spotlight. I mean, he pulled up to the 2024 Met with some serious drip, showcasing a custom Burberry necklace, an iced out Alex Moss ring, and floral Bryony Raymond earrings. But Hamilton's jewelry doesn't just make appearances at celebrity events. He's also known for wearing them on the grid, even if it gets him into trouble. Prior to the 2022 Miami Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton flexed 3 different IWC watches, a Justone Clou bracelet worth thousands, and a Cartier ring. Now, don't get me wrong, those are all impressive pieces, but I want to show you some even crazier ones. Like his white gold Patek Philippe Nautilus, which is worth over 200 grand. Or his very own custom-made Lewis Hamilton edition watch, which is even rarer than his McLaren, with only 100 ever made. And you already know that he's got quite the collection of rollies, including his Daytona, worth tens of thousands of dollars that he wears like it's nothing. And when the FIA tried to tell him he couldn't be wearing any of his jewelry during races, he responded,
"It's almost like a step backwards if you think of the steps we're taking as a sport. And the more important issues and causes that we need to be focused on."
But now, let's take a journey around the world to some of the properties that Hamilton has acquired over the years. And we gotta start with his penthouse in Monte Carlo, which he bought for a cool 15 mil back in 2010. This crib is so crazy, not only does it have a sun terrace he can use as a gym, but also has a built-in steam room where he can relax after his work is done. And no homo, I'd love to spend some time in there with him. You know, a lot of F1 drivers live in Monaco due to its luxurious, calm, and quiet lifestyle. And it's also tax-free, which is a major plus when you're making millions. But Hamilton owns many more properties around the world. because he bought an apartment in Geneva, Switzerland, just to escape the attention he gets in his home country of Britain. His Swiss apartment is rather private, and even after flying out there myself and being a little stalker, I only managed to snag this one photo, which makes sense considering he bought it to remain anonymous. Now, let's move over to the US, because he has built up quite a collection of houses there as well. This first place, which Hamilton himself calls home, is located in the scenic mountains of Colorado, where he spends his winter breaks. And you see, this place is special. I mean, it is where he spends time with his family during off seasons, and it has given him love and memories that he feels he wouldn't get in any other places. Lewis has also shown his love and fondness for the States by buying some sick cribs in the city that never sleeps, and I'm talking about New York. Well, he did have a $44 million penthouse in Tribeca, where he was neighbors with other star celebrities, but he sold it for nearly $50 million in 2021, and never even lived in it. Now, that doesn't mean that he was done in NYC, because he still has a pricey $40 million penthouse overlooking the Hudson River. And even if it's not as expensive as his properties in the States, his home in Britain is no less luxurious than his others. See, Hamilton bought a 6-bedroom villa in West London back in 2017 for 18 million euros. But this home is a former property of Burberry chief designer Christopher Bailey. Now, this house has 4 reception rooms and an impressive 200-foot garden to accompany it, which rounds out his real estate portfolio perfectly. But whenever Lewis Hamilton isn't on the track or at one of his many houses, he can be seen traveling the world. This past summer, Hamilton spent some time in Africa, enjoying his time in the gorgeous sand dunes, but he also traveled to underprivileged areas, which left him rather emotional.
And then we went to Senegal. Seeing Gory Island was very, very heavy on the spirit and on the chest. Like you felt like a huge weight upon you as you went into this the House of Slaves.
But when he's not expanding his worldview, he's straight up living it up, like when he was caught chilling with Brazilian supermodel Juliana Nalu, or hanging out with the homies, like he did during the Paris Olympics. And to make these trips around the world, Hamilton used to have a private jet worth around $29 million. But shockingly, Hamilton sold the plane in 2019, and it wasn't because he couldn't afford it. He was making an effort to cut down his carbon footprint. Now, if only Taylor Swift could do the same. But with the new deal that he signed with Ferrari, you best believe that he will have even more luxurious purchases in the future. At the very minimum, his salary for the 2025 season will be around $87 million. But that doesn't tell it all. You see, his Ferrari deal could actually be worth more than 5 times as much. Just trust me on this one. First of all, Hamilton has the option to race in 2026 to secure another major bag. Not to mention the possible bonuses that could come along. But here is the biggest and most interesting part. You see, during contract negotiations, Ferrari chairman John Elkann set up a joint investment fund with Ferrari's parent company, worth over $272 million. Which would help make him one of the highest paid athletes of all time. Additionally, he has brand deals and sponsorships to give him even more money. And with a net worth of around $300 million already, he's secured generational wealth for himself and his family. In the future, maybe we'll see him splurge on some more luxurious cribs, or maybe some cars if he feels like it, but definitely some more jewelry. These are just some of the crazy ways that Lewis Hamilton spends his millions. And if you want to see how Max Verstappen spends his bag, check out this video.